what I did to convince myself is I looked at the vegan athletes and bodybuilders online all over Instagram who share what they eat all day, every day. I looked at their smoking hot bodies, and I looked at the fact that they were eating tofu and edamame and chickpeas every single day.
Don't hold back how you feel. Welcome to the platform for the misunderstood and creatives alike. So roll a joint and pour a shot. You're listening to the Dash It Out podcast, the show that brings your after hours talk to daytime. No wrong opinions and all unfiltered. With your host, Vic Tor.
So, welcome to another episode of the Dash It Out show. I'm joined with our all-powerful host, Kate Galli. Kate is qualified as a master personal trainer, life coach, NLP practitioner. Kate's intention is to help you create the mindset that makes your best eating and exercising choices simple and sustainable. On her podcast, Healthification, Kate has interviewed hundreds of passionate and compassionate authors, athletes, doctors, and entrepreneurs. And she's here with us today on the Dash It Out show. Woo! Kate is in the building. Kate, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Hey, Victor, I am awesome. It is my pleasure to be here. As you said, I'm a health coach and personal trainer. I am based in Noosa on the Sunshine Coast in Australia. And I first got into training like nearly 3 decades ago as a way to transform both my body and also my confidence. I think that is really important. And it's one of the things I love most now about what I do, seeing people transform both their bodies and their confidence.
That's a banger, because exercising releases endorphins, and you look good, you feel good, you do good in a sense. So not only is it's beneficial for your body, but it's good for your mind. If you think positive, you feel positive, and you do things that's ideally what's best for you. So the confidence key is definitely intriguing. I think a lot of people can relate with that. So what is being vegan to you, and can this be beneficial to someone who, who grew up, like for someone who have like an omnivore lifestyle, who grew up having an omnivore lifestyle, like can they adopt a vegan lifestyle, or is that something that how would someone who had an omnivore lifestyle adopt being vegan or eating healthy per se?
I love that you went there, Victor. You went straight to vegan. You went straight to my heart. Absolutely anyone can adopt the lifestyle. I was that little girl who grew up loving animals and eating animals. I even remember saying I could never be vegetarian until it all changed, until I met a girl at school who explained to me what needed to happen for me to eat animals. I became vegetarian overnight. It would take a further 23 years for me personally until I actually became vegan. That was 8.5 years ago. And again, I am the typical person who grew up eating meat up to 3 times a day. I love food. I still love food. When I became vegan, I had actually been a personal trainer for a decade at that point in time. And personal trainers, we're all about the bodies, we're all about the muscle, about the protein. I had been following a high protein, low carbohydrate, vegetarian approach to personal training and sculpting my ideal body for a decade, when I learned the truth that animals were still dying for my food choices, and I decided to become vegan. And, I had some hesitations. I had the hesitations that many of our listeners may be having about what it would cost me so far as my goals and the way that my body looked and functioned, and also potentially what it might cost me so far as deliciousness, because deliciousness counts. And I was wrong on both those counts, right? The body is still exactly as I want it to be, as is the energy. The food is more delicious. Do you know what I didn't expect though? The only hard bit is actually managing relationships with non-vegan loved ones. That is the hard bit of making the change.
So how was that hard? Were you able to, like, everyone sit down at the dinner table just a little scenario. I want to sit at a dinner table and your significant other may want to eat a pork chop, and you, on the other hand, would like prefer to eat eggplant parmesan. And for some reason, you keep looking over at his plate or her plate, not to preference, but not, but looking over at the plate and like, I kind of really wish you did not do that, babe, because it's a bit disgusting. Like, how was that transition for you, or like, were you able to adopt a mindset to grow past others who are not vegan? How was that mindset, and how were you able to adapt with that lifestyle?
It's a big, important question. And I speak about a lot about why I stopped being an angry vegan, because we've all met the angry vegan, and that was absolutely me. I'm vegan for the animals, not for my health or the environment, even though it's hugely impactful for both of those. I am in it for the animals. And so it is hard when I see other people with bodies on their plates, because that's how I see it. And it was costing me in my relationships. It was creating conflict. And I'll even say it was making me lose respect, even lose love for some of the people close to me, because it's a big difference in values and beliefs when someone you love is making these choices that are in such stark contrast with the way that you live your life. And so, actually, to get really heavy, the toughest time in my life taught me that I needed to focus more on what I have in common with the people I love who aren't vegan. And the toughest time in my life was when my mother, she died suddenly about 2.5 years ago. And my mum was the only plant-based, nearly vegan person in my life, like family member. And she died, and she was my person, and it was really sudden. And in relation to mum dying, I knew that I had no regrets so far as our relationship, because our relationship was amazing. She knew how much I loved and respected her. Equally, I knew that if that had been my father that had died, I would have had regrets about our relationship, because there was a lot of conflict in our relationship, because he was the anti-vegan and I was the animal rights activist vegan. And so the hard lesson was that I needed to lead with more love and compassion and deliciousness, like my mother used to do, as a way to honor her, and also as a way to build back up the relationship that I wanted to have with my father, and equally the relationship that I wanted to have with other non-vegans in my life. So that's a lot. I know it's heavy, but it was a hard, learned, yet important lesson.
One, I just want to say sorry for your loss. Feel as though you
Thank
didn't
you.
just lose, your mom, but you lost a support system. You lost your confidant. You lost your mentor. So yeah, I just want to just go ahead and say sorry for your loss. But it seems as though
Thank
you've
you.
grown a lot, and I know that you have a podcast yourself, Healthification, in which you speak about, the journey as being vegan and adopting a healthy lifestyle to help those improve their quality of life. On that podcast, have you ever mentioned your your struggle with being able to, navigate being a vegan and then coming to terms after the loss of your mom to really understand that, okay, I may not be able to change your mind for the sake of the animals and for the sake of me per se, being an angry vegan, but I was at least able to create a platform in which that I can share the light to really inspire and motivate and inform others of the decisions instead. So I really feel like you took a pessimistic approach from the traditional angry vegan.
Yeah, so I speak a lot about my journey and the influence, the positive influence that mum had on me in the podcast. And one of the things that I go back and forth with my guests is we're all about the most effective approach, right? And so far as
Yeah.
our advocacy for the lifestyle, just leading with your heart and your passion, that is my normal approach. However, as we've hinted at, it can be kind of an angry type of approach, and it's not the most effective approach. So absolutely, I share now what I see to be as more effective. And time again, that is leading with the delicious food. It's meeting people where they're at, not where you're at. So sometimes it's lowering your expectations, both for yourself and for them. I like to say lowering the bar to raise your chance of success, right? It's very
Right.
consciously focusing on what you have in common, because we have we have stuff in common with absolutely everyone. Sometimes you do just have to hunt a little bit harder for that. And I also want to say that's very perceptive of you, Victor, that you acknowledged how I lost my confidence and support network in mum, because that is something that, and I'm seeking out more of the same. It will never be exactly the same. Obviously, she's completely irreplaceable. However, that is one
Exactly.
of the tough things that people, when they make such a huge transition, such a huge lifestyle change, whether it be vegan or plant-based or any sort of health change in their life, which is really, really big and which is different to what the majority of people in their life are doing, seeking out that community and that support system, that is so absolutely vital. And I guess that's one of the things that I look to provide with the Healthification podcast as well. Same as your podcast here, it doesn't matter where we are in the world. Anyone from anywhere in the world can tune in, and they can listen to like-minded people, or they can listen to people with completely different opinions, and hopefully they're listening with an open mind and an open heart. And I guess on that part, it triggers something that you touched on before, and that maybe we can't change our loved ones, that we can't force them to connect with what we connected with originally. I'll give you an example with my mum. Before she became plant-based, I used to emotionally blackmail both of them to watch What the Health and to care about changing their lifestyle for their own health. And, heads
Yeah.
up, emotional blackmail wasn't effective,
Damn.
didn't work. What
Okay.
did work was I masterminded a Christmas feast that mum asked me to at one Christmas, all vegan. I went to a lot of work. It was delicious. It was well received by the entire family. After that vegan feast, she said, "Katie, will you watch What the Health with me?" We watched it together. Mum didn't connect with the animals. She connected with our broken healthcare system or sick care system, which isn't preventative and it isn't proactive. It's more reactive, where people are on drugs for the rest of their life, managing their chronic illnesses that could be prevented with lifestyle measures. And mum is a nurse of 30 years. She connected with that, not with the animals. And bit by bit, her heart opened and she started to connect with the animals, but not at the beginning. So,
That's intriguing. I love how they both had two different approaches, but came to the same resolution as far as adopting a sustainable lifestyle. And your
yeah.
mom definitely insightful. Don't feel for that. Yeah, definitely love it. She been a nurse practitioner for the long she. Yeah, I mean, I feel for that. I definitely feel because it's the motives is right? Okay, the
Mm-hmm.
intentions are great. That's why I want you to come on to the show, because I really feel like you have a powerful message to convey. Now, I'm not a vegan myself, but
Boo.
I'm cutting back a lot of meat in my life. I no longer eat a lot of
Amazing.
dairy. I started to cut dairy out of my life. I very rarely eat protein. But when I do eat protein, I try to, I stick with chicken. But I'm like slowly but surely in fish. I slowly but surely try to cut certain things out of my diet, because I notice with me, I get groggy. And I don't know if it's because, like, I mean, yes, the pharmaceutical company is crazy, and you have, like you said previously, a lot of things can be changed. When you need medication, you can adapt a herb-based diet. You can take a lot of tinctures. There's a lot of formulas you can use to help better yourself. And it's the same thing with the foods, and the food is no different. The food industry is just as worse as the pharmaceutical company. If we keep being completely honest, realistic, okay? Genetically
Mm-hmm.
engineering chickens, genetically engineering fish, genetically engineering a lot of like, come on now, like even our fruit is weird. Like I never know a
What the
fruit to not have
fuck?
seeds. How did it grow? Isn't that like the natural order of life? It comes from a seed, it grows up, it sprout, it creates, you plant that, pick that tongue twister, you plant, you pick that fruit, okay? And you open that fruit and what's in it? Seeds to restart the process all over again, right? So when you have like a lot of fruit nowadays that don't have seeds, it's like, okay, well, how's it growing? Like, it's things like that that just don't make sense. But it's like you definitely gotta watch what you eat, and you definitely gotta watch. No, it's not about what comes to your body, what goes in. And a lot of mental health, believe it or not, depression, sadness, anger, irritability, and it's actually statistically proven that it can really comes from poor diet, like a lot of fast food, irritability, insomnia, depression, anxiety. It can all come from not eating correctly. Like even coffee is not good in large amounts. Coffee is known to cause anxiety. It's been known to cause jitters. So I've been trying to adopt healthy alternatives. One of my healthy alternatives I like to use is this. I don't know if you can see it, but it's ginger beer. This is my natural coffee here, and this gets me up and
Nice.
going. Yes, it gets me up and going, and that's an alternative. Taking out coffee. I'm taking out oh, high fructose syrup, granulated sugar, and dropping all of that. Yeah, and dairy, kicking dairy to the side as well. Now the protein with me is the one thing I struggle on, because I do have a fast metabolism. And I do also have like what's it called? Anemia. I suffer from anemia. So, excuse me. And when I was a kid, I had a low iron deficiency. So certain things that my body just got so accustomed to, but it's essentially the same as being on drugs. Your body got so accustomed to it that once you take it away, you start to go through withdrawals. So this is gonna bring me to one of my other questions. What would be the process of becoming vegan for someone who never been vegan in their life and they want to start vegan? Because there have been instances in which individuals gotten sick because their body, like I said, their body's gotten so accustomed to eating certain foods. So what would be a step? What would be an approach to like slowly get into the vegan lifestyle?
To make it sustainable, the first step should always be to connect with your why and to add huge emotional intensity to that why. So for any lasting change, where there are going to be adjustments and learnings and struggle street times even, you really do need to get clear on the why you're doing it for your health, for the environment, for the animals, whatever it is. Get clear, add huge emotional intensity to that. And I would also say align it with your most important values and beliefs. So if freedom and integrity are my top two values, living a vegan lifestyle is absolutely aligned with that for me. For everyone, it's going to be different. I know you probably want to get a little bit actionable though, and I do want to touch on the protein component and also the components of, doing it really well so that you are a healthy advocate for the lifestyle so that you can sustain it and so that it gives you joy and health and you don't become one of those annoying vocal ex-vegans who, to be honest, probably most of the time weren't as diligent as they needed to be with seeking out the right balance, abundant nutrition, and asking for advice when you need help, right? There are so many amazing resources and individuals and doctors. I've interviewed a lot of them on my podcast online who you can reach out to if it's not working for you. Often people just blame the lifestyle rather than, looking at what they could do better so far as the lifestyle. So talking
So gross.
actionable steps, and I probably got too diligent when I first did it because I had a point to prove. I was a personal
Yeah.
trainer working in a gym bro type of environment. One of the boys, when I said I'm becoming vegan, he said, well, goodbye lean muscle mass. They were waiting for me to fail. And I felt the pressure to not fail. I knew it would make the lifestyle look bad and it was really important to me. So you want to build your meals primarily around whole plant foods. There's all those processed transitional burgers and such, and they're useful. However, they shouldn't be the majority of what you eat. You want to eat like wholesome legumes and whole grains and fruits and veggies and nuts and seeds. And so many of the foods that I used to be scared of when I was a personal trainer that favored a super high protein, super low carbohydrate approach to eating. So many of those foods I eat again now. All the potatoes and sweet potatoes, something that you, Victor,
Yeah.
as someone with a fast metabolism, you would be needing to eat a lot of those foods and a lot of the higher caloric density nuts and seeds, and definitely all the abundant proteins like the legumes and lentils and chickpeas and tofu. Don't be afraid of soy. It's not bad. It's not going to give you man boobs. They would be some of the starting points to get clear on the why and to do your research so far as the nutrition. It's not hard. It just takes a little bit of upfront effort so that you learn those meals that you love, that you can make en masse if you need to, that you can make in 5 minutes if you need to, and the more indulgent ones that you can make for your family, friends, and relatives that you're looking to impress who mightn't be there yet, to kind of sell them on the lifestyle too.
Well, let me tell you this for a fact. Okay, Kate? So, sorry, delight. So, my
Delights.
father actually is adopting a vegetarian lifestyle, okay? And
Amazing.
it's funny because you was like, soy is not gonna give you man boobs, okay? It's funny because he specifically did not want to eat like a lot of soy, chickpeas. He was just like, it's gonna have a lot of estrogen in them. And so it was that. So it's funny when you said that, kind of was like full circle moment. But my father's definitely adopting a vegetarian lifestyle. It's kind of one of the reasons why I've gotten a lot of my inspiration from adopting it, because my father is pushing 60. He's pushing 60. He's a father of 7 children. Okay. And he's constantly moving, still handles business, and he still run, he still work out, he still do the everyday function of someone who's like 20, 30. And when people see him, just like, you look so healthy, you look younger, this and that. It's like, yeah, because I don't eat all that garbage I be eating. When you're young, you don't really think too much. It's like, oh, it's whatever, I can handle it. But then when you start to come of age, you really like, I really gotta start caring about what I put in my body. And it's just like, if you don't drink water for a period of time, you start getting lightheaded, you start feeling sick. Like, I know individuals who drink nothing but soda. I'm like, how can you live like that? Like,
What the
I know
fuck?
when you go to the bathroom and you take a leak or you urinate, I know you can tell that something is wrong. Okay. It's the same thing with food. Food is no different. No, food is definitely no different. So I definitely wholeheartedly believe and agree exactly what it is that you're doing. I'm definitely gonna like include, you say you gave me the thumbs up with the chickpeas. I'm so like, my father's like, he's just here. I hear him. You eat chickpeas, you're gonna grow boobs, you're gonna become very feminine. No, but I get where he was coming from, but not to the extent. He wasn't like extremist with it, but he would just like kind of like stay away from it a bit. But yeah, so I get exactly where you're coming from. Okay, so quick question: Have there ever came a time?
Yes.
Sorry.
I was just going to say what I did, because it's propaganda consciously put out there by the dairy industry to hate on soy and talk about its estrogen mimicking effect. It's a different type of estrogen. It's plant estrogen. The estrogen that we need to worry about is the estrogen from a always pregnant mother cow that is in the milk that we consume if we consume dairy. What I did to convince myself is I looked at the vegan athletes and bodybuilders online all over Instagram who share what they eat all day, every day. I looked at their smoking hot bodies, and I looked at the fact that they were eating tofu and edamame and chickpeas every single day. And I tried it out for myself, and I noticed that it only had positive impacts. So maybe point out some of those amazing athletes to your father, the Nimai Delgado, the Torrey Washington, the Corin Sutton, all these people. Point them out to your dad and just show him those pictures.
I tell you this, okay? I love me some good hummus. That's me. So
Amazing.
if like hummus. I'm sorry, you're not breaking up me and hummus. I'm sorry. Like it's times with that whole scenario I brought down with you and your significant other, and you like looking at him with the steak, and me like you eating the salad and whatnot. But in my father case, like he'd be like eat my hummus. I would be like, cucumber slices or even bread, not necessarily pita bread, but any type of bread. Cause I just like hummus. I still love it. I'm actually mouth watering just talking about it. Especially
It's
spicy
very
hummus.
good.
Hummus with some cayenne pepper, some paprika. Yeah, spicy hummus. Oh, yeah, I'm eating it.
Yummy.
Okay. So I do want to ask you another question real quick. So have you ever came a time in which you were reminded of the life coach experiences you was teaching others? Like far as have there ever been a time when you was teaching others certain life experiences to coach them in their life and it helped reminded you in the moment in time that you needed it the most?
I mean, I think the people that study life coaching as I did, I think we study that for ourselves as much for our clients and our careers, and the learnings are absolutely for ourselves. I would say that every single day I'm reminded, the lessons that I'm imparting with my clients are absolutely the lessons that I need myself. So I don't even know if I can think of one instant because it is all of the time. Absolutely. And I think one of the most important lessons is to back yourself 100%. I learned that through the coaching academy. I learned that in what I like to refer to now as the Business from Hell, which is a personal training franchise that I was part of. And it was absolutely a period of time in my life where there was no freedom, not much passion. I was working crazy hours for minimal money, and it was incredibly stressful. But I learned that I was the one that would get myself out of that situation. You can't rely on
Yeah.
other people. You can't know what's coming today,
Ding ding ding.
tomorrow, or next year. Yeah,
You listening,
100%.
people?
What you can know is that you will come through for you. You can build a certainty in yourself that you can't have in other people or circumstances. And I consciously
Hmm.
learnt to build that certainty in myself. And that is something that I love to impart with my clients as well. That belief in yourself. That's probably one of my biggest lessons.
Ah, beautiful, beautiful. Love it. I love it. I'm gonna add some sound effect claps later. But right now, beautiful. I love it. And
Hooray!
you study life coaching, so it's second nature. And I find it motivating because there's times where I don't study life coaching, but it's times when I share my life experience, which is in a sense is life coaching. You share your life
Mhm.
experiences. How have you gotten and managed to overcome an obstacle or to embrace the good, the great now? And so it's times when I've done that numerous occasions and inadvertently reminded myself while talking to somebody like, "Huh, you know what, that was really motivational. Like it comes from somewhere. It comes from, I don't know if you believe in God, but it comes from the creator. It comes from the universe. Ethereal feeling that connects us all. So I was just kind of curious to know like where was your stance and on you being a life coach? But yeah, definitely. I love it. Okay. So are
Nice.
you ready to play a game?
For sure.
Are you ready to play a game? Okay. So we're about to do it. So
Yeah.
this is called Dine and Dash. Now, typically what it is pretty much just a lightning round. Okay, it's a lightning round. And what I'm gonna add a series of questions, and it's gonna be either or. So I'm gonna go ahead and start, and we about to go now. Okay.
Cool.
So, brains or bronze? If you had to choose one, brains or bronze?
Now brains, in the past,
You said now brains and a prize bronze. Got
definitely.
you. Okay. Raw garlic or raw onions?
Raw onions.
Raw onions, definitely raw garlic for me.
Ew, gross.
Exercising or perfect health? This was a little tricky.
I don't think you can have perfect health without exercising. I'll choose perfect health though. I think they go hand in hand.
They do. It's a trick question. So I just had to throw that in there. I'm sorry, I had to. It's very derivative, right? Exercise over
Yeah.
healthy health. They kind of go hand in hand. It's very derivative. I just had to throw it in to mess with you a little bit. Okay.
What right
Oh,
have you
good.
to be merry?
Walking.
Was it walking? Was that the first one?
Yes, power walking.
I'm going to say running because I just walk. I stroll or run. So I don't power walk. So let's say running.
I'm a power walker. No, I think
We're
they
opposite.
just living a fast life in DC, New York, Atlanta. Like it's kind of so used to like walking fast, and it's just been a thing, you know. Because I'm not thinking about exercising, I'm technically exercising. It's like my fault. It's like I don't know what it is, but it's the best way that I can actually start working out and get myself to really get into a routine of working out. It's almost like when you
I
purposely
get
walk
you.
up the steps instead of catching the elevator. So definitely power walking for
Perfect.
me.
I get you.
Okay. Okay. So I will get you for the last one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The Dash It Out podcast or Healthification.
Oh, that's really awful. But of course I'm going to choose healthification. That is my heart. That is my baby.
Okay, as you should. Okay. Once again, just had to mess with you, as you should. It's your show. It's your baby, right?
For
Healthification,
sure.
everybody. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on to the show. It's been a pleasure. It's been insightful. It's been insightful. It's been enlightening. It's been motivational. So, Kate Galli, it's been an amazing time. Thank you so much for coming on to the Dash It Out show, everyone. Kate Galli. Okay, give a round of applause and love and shout out. All the links and information will be linked in the description, either below or on the left, or on the right, or above, or wherever it's posted on social media, because the description boxes are always changing. But I know on the Dash It Out page, it's going to be listed right at the bottom. In fact, that may change too, maybe on the left or right. Either or, you can definitely check out all her works. Kate Galli, before you leave, you can go ahead and tell the listeners where they can find all your work.
Thank you, Victor. This has been so much fun. Best place to connect with me is via strongbodygreenplanet.com and the Healthification podcast. I've loved it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much again for coming on to the show, everybody. All the information will be linked in the description below. And that's it for the Dash It Out show. Please feel free to follow us on social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or just go to mydashitout.com. You can check out everything there, including this amazing episode with my amazing co-host, Kate Galli. Until next time, I'm your host, Vic Dash Tour.